Hello and welcome to another video by SecureGate. Today, we'll be going over SD-WAN. First, let's quickly understand what SD-WAN is. SD-WAN, or Software Defined Wide Area Networking, in its simplest form, is a virtual WAN. SD-WAN enables businesses to leverage a combination of transport services like broadband, MPLS, and LTE to securely connect users to the internet and applications. SD-WAN also allows you to further control your network traffic, where it's going, which will in return enable efficient bandwidth usage and automate link failovers. First step, of course, logging into our FortiGate. I already have my lab pulled up. Once you're logged in, you'll land on the dashboard. You want to navigate over to your networks and SD-WAN. Now, I already have a number of SD-WAN zones set up. If you're just starting out, will want to create new. We're going to create a new SD-WAN zone. I'm just going to call this all WANs because I'm going to throw in both of my ISP links. We'll pretend that I have two internet service providers. Let's just say one's fiber, one's coax. We'll say WAN 1 is fiber, WAN 2 is coax, and this is just for pretend. We'll click OK. Now, in the real world, you'll probably need to specify a gateway. That gateway will be the gateway of that link, that internet connection. Okay, once you've created your zone and added your members, we will go over to performance SLAs here. Now, you'll see again, I have a number of them already. This is what's going to monitor the performance of your ISP connections. I will create new, and we'll just do a simple Google ping. Call it ping Google. Give it the IP address quad 8 for Google. I'll also add a secondary. And we do want to enable SLA target. This is where we specify some performance metrics. So we'll just say if it has latency of 100, jitter of 50, and packet loss of 3% or more. Basically, if any of these metrics are exceeded, we want to initiate a failover between our internet service providers. And we do want to update the static route there. Click OK. Oops, and I actually have a duplicate, so I'm going to go and I don't want to delete that actually, so we're just going to recreate this real quick. I'll use the backup for Google. Alright, so once your interfaces are added to your SD-WAN zone and your performance SLA is configured, it's time to create SD-WAN rules. These rules determine how traffic is distributed across WAN links. For example, you can prioritize traffic based off of applications. We can see I have one here for RingCentral specifically. You can base traffic flow off of latency, bandwidth. You can even do application categories, specific IPs, and this section is top-down, much like the firewall policies themselves. So traffic will hit whichever rule it meets first and follow that. So we're going to create new, and a lot of the times when I'm working with smaller clients, they may have a single firewall, they may have two ISPs. One of those ISPs is typically better than the other. So I like to do a rule called lowest cost. And for the source, I'm going to pick my LAN subnet destination. That's going to be all. So basically all LAN traffic going out anywhere. I will pick my lowest cost strategy here, with an interface preference of WAN 1 followed by WAN 2. And this is top down, so it gives a little bit more weight to your whatever you have selected here at the top. And in this case, that would be WAN 1, which we're pretending is a fiber connection. We can pick our zone preference. I'm going to select the SD-WAN zone that we just recently created. And here's where we can assign that performance SLA for Google. So basically, if Google, or if WAN 1 interface has a high latency, high jitter, or packet loss greater than 3% for that Google IP 8.8.4.4 that we specified in the SLA, this is what's going to tell it to fail over to WAN 2 automatically. Excuse me. And that's most of the configuration. Again, very simple, very straightforward. So we've configured the SD-WAN zone, we've configured the performance SLA, we've configured the SD-WAN rule. The final step is to create a firewall policy to make sure that traffic is allowed. So we'll go over to policy and objects, firewall policy. I'm going to create new, and this is just going to be a generic catch-all. My incoming interface is going to be LAN, outgoing to either one of those ISP connections, source all, destination all. In the real world, you want to try to be as specific as possible, so it's probably better to pick my specific LAN subnet here. If I was being very granular, maybe we wanted to create an SD-WAN rule just to go to a specific cloud application, we could specify that both here and in the SD-WAN rules. But in this case, we're just going to be very generic. Pick all for a bunch of this stuff. We want to do natting. Here's where you can enable your antivirus, web filter, and your extra security controls. And we'll click OK. And that's really it. If we wanted to check out some monitoring, you would come over here to Dashboard, Network, SD-WAN, and we can see a little bit of traffic over those two interfaces, but not a whole lot, of course, because it's just my lab environment. And that's it. You've successfully configured SD-WAN on your FortiGate firewall. Again, this is a very basic setup. We didn't get too granular. We didn't pick specific applications to send out one ISP or the other. This was more just a very brief introduction, tell you how to prioritize one link, but still have that automatic failover for that backup link if you needed it to. And that's how I handle a lot of smaller clients that don't need to get as specific, but still want some redundancy there. So with SD-WAN, you can always ensure your network or your client's network is running at peak performance and your business stays connected. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for more tutorials. See you next time.